Emotions are a fundamental part of being human. They are like signals from our body and mind that tell us what is happening around us and inside us. Think of them as messages. Happiness might tell you that you are enjoying something wonderful. Sadness might tell you that you have lost something important. Fear is a message that warns you of danger, telling you to be careful. Anger can be a signal that something is unfair or that a boundary has been crossed. These feelings are not good or bad. They are simply information. They give our lives color, meaning, and depth, guiding our actions and helping us connect with the world in a very personal way. We have emotions because they helped our ancestors survive for thousands of years. Early humans needed to react quickly to threats, like a dangerous animal. The feeling of fear would trigger a fast physical response, like running away or fighting. This is often called the fight or flight response. Emotions also helped them form strong bonds within their groups, which was crucial for safety and cooperation. Feelings like love and joy helped people build families and communities. So, when you feel a strong emotion today, remember that it is a part of a very old and very useful system that is built into your brain to protect you and help you live. It is important to understand that emotions are a mix of what you think, what you feel in your body, and how you want to act. For example, when you feel excited, you might think, "This is going to be great." Your heart might beat faster, and you might feel a rush of energy. You might want to jump up and down or share your good news with someone. All these parts, the thought, the physical feeling, and the urge to act, come together to create the experience of an emotion. Learning to notice these different parts is the first step toward understanding and managing your feelings effectively. So, instead of seeing emotions as enemies to be conquered, we should see them as helpful guides. They provide us with valuable data about our experiences. When you feel anxious before a big presentation, it's a sign that the presentation is important to you. When you feel lonely, it's a sign that you need connection with other people. By listening to these emotional messages with curiosity instead of judgment, we can learn so much about ourselves, our needs, and our values. This understanding is the foundation upon which all emotional skill is built, allowing us to navigate life with greater wisdom and compassion for ourselves. Learning to manage your emotions is one of the most important skills you can develop for a happy and successful life. When our feelings are in control, we can think more clearly and make better decisions. Imagine you are very angry with a friend. If you react immediately, you might say something hurtful that you will later regret. But if you can manage that anger, you can pause, think about the situation calmly, and choose a more constructive way to solve the problem. This ability to think before acting is crucial in all areas of life, from passing an exam to making a major life choice. Good decisions come from a calm mind, not one clouded by intense emotion. Your relationships with other people also depend heavily on your ability to manage your emotions. Strong, healthy relationships are built on trust, understanding, and good communication. When you can control your feelings, you can listen better to others and express your own needs without blaming or attacking them. This creates a safe space for open and honest conversation. For instance, if your partner does something that upsets you, managing your initial frustration allows you to say, "I felt hurt when you did that," instead of shouting. This leads to connection and problem solving rather than conflict and distance. Emotional control helps you be a better friend, partner, and family member. Your personal well-being is also deeply connected to your emotional health. Uncontrolled negative emotions like chronic stress, anxiety, or anger can have a serious impact on your physical health. They can lead to problems like high blood pressure, poor sleep, and a weakened immune system. On the other hand, learning to cultivate positive emotions like gratitude and joy can boost your mood and improve your overall health. Managing your emotions means you are not just a passenger on a roller coaster of feelings. You are the driver, able to steer yourself toward a more stable and peaceful state of mind and body. Finally, emotional management is critical for success in the workplace. Modern jobs require teamwork, communication, and the ability to handle pressure. An employee who panics under stress or gets into arguments with colleagues will struggle to be effective. In contrast, someone who can stay calm during a crisis, accept constructive feedback without getting defensive, and motivate others is highly valued. This skill, often called emotional intelligence, is what separates good performers from great leaders. By mastering your emotions, you open the door to better career opportunities and a more fulfilling professional life, proving that this skill is a key to success everywhere. One of the most powerful yet simple techniques for managing emotions is deep breathing. When you feel a strong emotion like anger or anxiety, your body's stress response is activated. Your heart beats faster, your breathing becomes shallow, and your muscles tense up. Deep breathing sends a signal to your brain to calm down and relax. To practice this, simply find a quiet place if you can. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose for 4 seconds. Feel your belly expand. Then hold your breath for a moment before slowly exhaling through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat this several times until you feel your heart rate slow and your body relax. Another essential technique is learning to pause before you react. Emotions happen very quickly, and our first instinct is often to act on them immediately. This can lead to saying or doing things we regret. The pause is a small space of time you create between the feeling and your reaction. It gives your thinking brain, the more rational part, a chance to catch up with your emotional brain. For example, if you receive a frustrating email at work, your first impulse might be to write an angry reply. Instead, pause. Tell yourself you will not respond for at least 10 minutes or even an hour. This simple act of waiting can change everything. During this pause, you give yourself an opportunity to think more clearly and choose a better response. You can ask yourself important questions like, what is the best outcome I want here? Or will my initial reaction help or hurt the situation? This moment of reflection allows you to move from a reactive state to a proactive one. Instead of being controlled by your emotions, you are taking control of your actions. The pause can be as short as taking one deep breath or as long as waiting a full day to address a conflict. The length is not as important as the habit of creating that space for conscious choice. Practicing the pause and deep breathing together creates a powerful combination for emotional regulation. When a trigger happens, your first step is to stop and breathe deeply. This calms your physical response to the emotion. The second step is to use that moment of calm to think about your options. Over time, this becomes an automatic habit. Instead of an emotional explosion, you will have a moment of mindful consideration. This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings. It means you are choosing how and when to express them in a way that is healthy for you and respectful of others. It is the art of responding, not just reacting. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of emotional management. It means paying attention to your feelings without judgment. Many of us go through our days without really noticing what we are feeling. We might feel a little off or stressed, but we don't take the time to look closer. To build self-awareness, practice checking in with yourself several times a day. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Try to name the emotion. Is it frustration, disappointment, contentment? Simply naming the feeling can reduce its power over you. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly you can see what you are dealing with. A key part of self-awareness is identifying your emotional triggers. Triggers are the specific situations, people, or events that cause a strong emotional reaction in you. For one person, a trigger might be being stuck in traffic. For another, it might be receiving criticism from their boss. To find your triggers, pay attention to when you experience intense emotions. Keep a simple journal for a week. Write down any time you felt a strong feeling like anger, sadness, or anxiety. Note what was happening right before you felt that way. What did someone say? What were you thinking about? What were you doing? Once you have a list of your common triggers, you can start to prepare for them. Knowing what sets you off gives you power. If you know that talking about finances with your partner is a trigger for arguments, you can plan ahead. You can decide to have the conversation when you are both calm and rested. You can agree on some ground rules like no interrupting. This proactive approach helps you manage the situation instead of letting the situation manage you. You are no longer surprised by your own emotional reactions because you understand where they come from and can anticipate them. Building self-awareness and identifying triggers is an ongoing process of discovery. It requires honesty and curiosity about your inner world. Be kind to yourself as you learn. The goal is not to be perfect or to never feel negative emotions. The goal is to understand yourself better so you can navigate your life with more skill and less stress. This knowledge is like a personal map of your emotional landscape. The more you explore it, the easier it becomes to find your way through difficult territory and reach a place of calm and clarity. This self-knowledge is a true superpower in the journey of emotional mastery. Our thoughts have a powerful influence on our emotions. Often, it is not the event itself that causes our feelings, but our interpretation of the event. This is the core idea behind changing your negative thoughts, a technique known as cognitive reframing. For example, imagine you make a mistake at work. You could think, I'm a failure, I can't do anything right. This thought will likely lead to feelings of shame and sadness. However, you can choose to reframe that thought. You could think instead, I made a mistake. And that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. What can I learn from this so I can do better next time? This new thought leads to more constructive feelings, like determination and self-compassion. practice this, start by noticing your negative self-talk. When you feel a difficult emotion, ask yourself, what thought just went through my mind? Write it down. Then, challenge that thought. Is it 100% true? Is there another way to look at this situation? Try to come up with a more balanced and realistic thought to replace the negative one. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding a more helpful perspective. Changing your thoughts is like changing the lens on a camera. The scene outside remains the same, but your view of it can become clearer, wider, and much more positive. Another powerful tool for managing emotions is building your emotional vocabulary. Many people use very general words to describe their feelings, like good, bad, or stressed. When you can use more specific words, you gain a better understanding of what is truly happening inside you. For example, instead of just saying you feel bad, can you be more specific? Do you feel disappointed, lonely, guilty, or overwhelmed? Each of these feelings points to a different need. Disappointment might mean you need to adjust your expectations. Loneliness means you need connection. A richer vocabulary gives you more precise information to work with. To expand your emotional vocabulary, you can look at an emotion wheel or a list of feeling words online. Try to use a new feeling word each day to describe your experience. When you talk to others about your feelings, try to be as specific as possible. Instead of saying, "I'm so stressed about this project," you could say, "I'm feeling overwhelmed by the deadline and anxious about the presentation." This clarity not only helps you understand yourself better, but also helps others understand what you need from them. A precise vocabulary turns a vague feeling into a solvable problem, giving you more control over your emotional life. Managing emotions does not mean suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. Bottling up your feelings is unhealthy and often leads to an explosion later on. Instead, it is crucial to find healthy ways to express what you are feeling. One of the best ways to do this is by talking to someone you trust. Sharing your feelings with a good friend, a family member, or a therapist can be incredibly helpful. When you put your emotions into words, it can make them feel less overwhelming. The simple act of being heard and understood by someone who cares can provide immense relief and make you feel less alone with your problems. When you express your emotions, it is important to do so constructively. Use I statements to take ownership of your feelings without blaming others. For example, instead of saying, "You made me so angry," you could say, "I felt angry when you were late because it made me feel like my time wasn't respected." This approach opens the door for a conversation rather than starting a fight. It allows you to express your truth while also giving the other person a chance to understand your perspective. Healthy expression is about communicating your feelings clearly and respectfully, which strengthens relationships. Another important aspect of emotional health is building resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficult situations and adversity. It's like an emotional muscle that gets stronger with practice. One way to build resilience is to focus on things you can control. When something bad happens, it's easy to feel helpless. Instead, ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do right now to make this situation a little bit better? Taking small, positive actions, no matter how minor they seem, can restore your sense of agency and hope. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain, it's about navigating through it with strength. Gratitude is also a powerful practice for building resilience and improving your emotional state. Actively looking for things to be thankful for shifts your focus away from what is wrong and toward what is right. It trains your brain to notice the positive. You can practice gratitude by keeping a journal where you write down 3 things you are grateful for each day. They can be big things, like your health, or small things, like a sunny day or a good cup of coffee. This simple habit can significantly increase your feelings of happiness and contentment, making you more resilient when challenges arise. Applying emotional control skills at work can transform your career. In a professional setting, emotions run high during deadlines, disagreements, or when receiving feedback. If a colleague criticizes your work, your first reaction might be defensiveness. Instead, use the pause. Take a deep breath and listen carefully to the feedback. Try to see it as information to help you improve, not a personal attack. Respond calmly by saying, "Thank you for that perspective. I will think about how I can use that to make the project better." This calm, professional response builds respect and shows that you are mature and focused on teamwork and growth, not on your ego. At home with your family, emotional management is essential for creating a loving and supportive environment. Family relationships can be a source of our greatest joy and our most intense triggers. Suppose you are tired after a long day and your children are making a mess. It is easy to lose your temper and yell. A better approach is to first recognize your own feeling of exhaustion. You can say, "I'm feeling very tired and overwhelmed right now. I need 5 minutes of quiet time, and then I will come help you clean up." This models healthy emotional expression for your children and prevents a stressful situation from escalating into a big conflict. During a crisis or a tough time, your ability to manage your emotions is tested the most. Whether you are dealing with a job loss, a health issue, or a personal loss, strong feelings of fear, grief, and uncertainty are normal. In these moments, it is vital to be kind to yourself and use all the tools you have. Focus on deep breathing to calm your body's panic response. Break down overwhelming problems into small, manageable steps. Reach out to your support system of friends and family. Remind yourself that feelings are temporary. Even the most intense emotions will eventually pass. Your emotional strength will help you navigate the storm. Across all these situations, empathy is a secret weapon. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. When you're in a conflict at work or at home, try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. Ask yourself, what might they be feeling right now? Why might they be acting this way? This shift in perspective can soften your own anger and lead to compassion. It helps you remember that everyone is fighting their own battles. By practicing empathy, you not only manage your own emotions better, but also build stronger, more meaningful connections with the people around you. As you learn to manage your emotions, it is important to be aware of common mistakes that can hinder your progress. One of the most frequent errors is suppression, or pushing your feelings down and pretending they don't exist. This may seem like control, but it is not. Suppressed emotions do not disappear. They build up pressure inside you and can lead to anxiety, depression, or sudden unexpected outbursts. The goal is not to ignore your feelings, but to acknowledge them with curiosity and then choose a constructive response. True emotional management is about engagement, not avoidance. Another common mistake is the opposite of suppression: explosion. This happens when you let your emotions take over completely, leading to yelling, aggressive behavior, or saying things you later regret. This approach damages relationships and creates more problems than it solves. It often comes from a lack of self-awareness or from suppressing feelings for too long until they erupt. Remember the power of the pause. When you feel an explosion coming, it is a signal to step away, breathe, and calm down before you act. Give yourself the time you need to cool off so you can respond thoughtfully instead of reactively. A third mistake is blaming others for your feelings. It is easy to say, "You made me angry," or "This situation is making me sad." While other people and situations are triggers, your emotions ultimately come from inside you. Taking responsibility for your feelings is empowering. It means you recognize that you have the power to change how you feel by changing your thoughts and your responses. When you stop blaming, you move from being a victim of your emotions to being a student of them. This shift in mindset is crucial for gaining true emotional control and maturity in your interactions with the world. The journey to mastering your emotions is a path toward what is known as emotional intelligence. This is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and to recognize and influence the emotions of others. It involves self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Developing these skills is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong practice. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. Celebrate small victories. Every time you pause instead of yelling or reframe a negative thought, you are building your emotional strength. This journey will lead to a more peaceful mind, stronger relationships, and a more fulfilling life. The power to create this change is within you.